Hello, welcome to the
Hi.
Lattes and Lore podcast. I'm Lauren.
Hi. Hi, I'm Erica.
We're diving into
What?
Fourth Wing. Mine's blurry, but we're going over about the first rough half of this book, and we'll be
Yep.
plunging into some hot takes, theories, a little foreshadowing, as always.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning: if you have not read Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, or Onyx Storm, this is not the podcast for you right now.
Well, eventually, when you read them, come back, join
Yeah,
us,
come back
listen
after
to all
you've
the
read it.
theories, or if you don't mind being spoiled, listen in. We're glad you're
True.
here.
Also, after you listen to this, please share any of your fun hot takes or theories because we'd love to see
Yes.
them
Yes,
so
we'd love
much.
to. And that way we can talk about them more on the next one. Yeah.
All right, so diving in, what were your first thoughts on a first read of Fourth Wing?
Oh, my word. The first read, it took me a little bit of time. So, I am not military. I don't have any. The closest association to military was my great uncle who was in the Air Force in Vietnam. That's it. Like, I don't have none of my immediate family are in the military. So that took a whole lot of time to get like into the squads and the ranks and all of that. So that took a little bit of adjustment. The first half is a lot of world building, and that was interesting for me because it was like a new world that I had never, because I'd never really read military books before. Not that there's, anything wrong with them. It just wasn't something that I had picked up. But after you really get into it, I remember like flying through the second half of it because once it picks up and you start rolling, it's on. It's ready to roll.
So I'm similar to you. No one really in my family was military. Like I have a few cousins that were, but like
Mm-hmm.
my closest thing to military was playing Call of Duty with my brother and my
Fair. I
husband.
watched my husband do it.
So
That's it. And
that's
I'm
it.
like,
We don't
welcome to the
we
gulag. That
yeah,
that's not even real.
like we don't care about ranks and that. So but I agree it was fun, but it's been that was the first fantasy book I had picked up in a while that had that strong military presence, and I was like,
Hmm.
okay, I read Tom Clancy like a long time ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I feel
um,
like every fantasy book has its own system of government,
yeah,
and that's really important in the fantasy book. So like that's part of the world building you have to go to. And it was just interesting that this is like because a lot of them, like if you think high fantasy, you really just see like the royal court and stuff like
right.
that, not necessarily like the military. Like they talk about it, but you don't see
You'll have
inside
like the
those.
head general and like his like
Yeah.
second or something like, and they
Yes.
don't
Yes.
dive into all this breakdown, which we'll touch
Right.
on because I wanted to make sure I had it all right. But
Thank
I
God,
really
because I
enjoyed
still don't
that.
understand it.
I enjoyed that aspect of it, and it was like breaking down, because as we dive in, there's quadrants of
Hmm.
different like not factions, but like kind of
Oh,
like it.
Divergent.
Um,
We should do a reminiscent podcast one day. All the books we
yes,
read as children.
immediate, yes.
Yes.
But my thing is, I was working night shift, like per diem at two different places when I first picked up Fourth Wing. So I'm listening to it while I'm charting on my pleasant little old people at
Yeah,
night. And
Blasom.
I ate it up, of course, and
Yes.
then there was like nothing. Because
Oh
it
yeah.
came out like May of 23, and I read it in like June or July. And then Iron Flame was November. And then, of course, we all know we had to wait for Onyx Storm and TBD on book four.
Yes.
But
Now whenever I read the first one, but I waited until Iron Flame came out.
I know.
We're gonna go ahead and spoil the thing. Iron Flame is not my favorite book. It is it was we you just guys just wait.
Erica
You
doesn't love it. She didn't
Erica
love
does
it.
not love
She
Iron
got
Flame.
through it. But it's
And I
fine. You don't have to like all the
yeah.
books. It's okay.
Mm,
Uh,
mm.
but there are some things like
We
the
made
biggest
it.
thing.
We made it.
And like for me, I listened to it and immediately restarted it because I was like staring at the wall
Yeah.
and had to take a lap in the hospital because I was like, I was not expecting the twist that happened. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like got twisty like the last four chapters. I was like,
Yes,
ooh,
it really did.
like buckle up, and it was a gut-wrenching cliffhanger, which we'll end up spoiling at some point. But
Well,
as
we've
we,
if we
you
talk
know,
about the dragons, we got to talk about Naolin. So it's coming.
oh, good. But we can dive into the start. Like, I
Yes.
love looking back through some of this first chapter
Same.
stuff, and it was
Same.
like, legitimately, Lilith gave her daughter 6 months to get ready for the quadrant.
Yeah, that was it. And she thought she was going to the scribe quadrant.
But
Like,
in her mom's defense, she was like, "You've got it." She
yeah.
had full confidence in her, but it was like
Yes.
people train for years because the
Yes.
writer's quadrant is a volunteer basis only. Like you're conscripted
Yes.
into their military at
Yes.
20, and you have to take like a test to
Mm-hmm.
prove like whatever. So I guess if you flunk it, you're like infantry. If you're like decent, you can go to healers, and if you're real smart, you can go to scribes. And
Right.
a lot of people volunteer for the writer's quadrant, which I'm
Yep.
like, in my heart and soul, I think I would be a writer, but I'd probably be a healer. I mean, nursing, why not?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
See, I don't know if I was smart enough to be a scribe, but I freaking love to read, but I also love to heal. So, I mean, I don't know.
but I don't
Who
want to
knows?
run
I could
around
have
with a
flunked out
hood
and just been like, give
on.
me a gun and send me in.
Yeah, like I'm not. I don't want to be infantry. Hard
No,
pass. Like
no.
no. And I wouldn't want to be locked in the archives. Like I want to go in there voluntarily.
Oh, that is true.
And you have to wear
That
like
is.
a hood. And here's a fun thing. I did not catch Justinia was deaf on my first read. I thought it was a scribe thing because you're in there and it's like they have to be quiet, they have to blend in with the book. So I thought that was just like they
I
learned to
thought that.
climb to not cause
Yes.
disruption. And then on the second reread, I was like, oh shit, she's
Oh,
deaf.
she's deaf.
Like, oh, totally was shocked. I'm like, that's brilliant. I love like that integration of different things and just like that made it even better that Liam knew how to sign. And a lot of the hot take, a lot of them are spoiler, a lot of the Mark twins know how to sign. I'm like, who do they
Hmm.
know that's deaf?
Right. They
How
had to.
common is it?
Right.
But
And it's just one of the like I just thought it was like, oh, you can't talk in the
yeah, that's
archives.
what I thought.
So
Like
here
the
we are.
librarian or the head scribe would like crucify you if you were causing too much,
Right. And I'm just like, oh, miss that one.
Oh, how about that? I didn't feel bad because it wasn't long after I reread it. Someone posted about it. Like I saw their TikTok. I was like, I was not the only one that didn't realize it. Thank you for that.
Well, I feel like
Um,
Rebecca Yarros is really good about inclusivity in these books.
yes,
Like Violet has, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this good, Ehlers-Danlos
yes.
syndrome, where you have the loose joints and the ligaments. And I'm pretty sure Rebecca Yarros and a couple of her children suffer from that same disease.
Yeah,
So it was kind of interesting to see like how much it plays into Violet. Well, her joints just fall apart. She'll
yeah.
just
Like
be,
she's freakishly flexible to the point it's a
mm-hmm.
bad thing. Like
Yes.
like
And I
uh,
kind of love that because you don't have a lot of mainstream books that have the inclusivity that Rebecca
no.
Yarros has in these. So that was really cool for me.
And I thought it was interesting too, because it obviously throughout all of the books, it's like Violet's tiny. So I'm like, she's
Yeah.
like 5 foot nothing, maybe five
Mm-hmm.
one, but and that's not an abnormal height for women like in our world,
Right.
but it's like it implies everyone else is like 5'9", 5'10" and up.
Right.
I'm like, where are those people at? For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm 5'10". I'm always like,
Yeah.
I feel super tall around so many people, but
I
I
am
just think
not
it's
tall.
interesting that they note that
Yeah.
multiple times. I know it's like
Right.
leading up to like everyone thinks she doesn't belong in the writer's quadrant, but like her
Mm-hmm.
mom even says like right in that area after she kicks Mira out, who's like yelling at her mom.
Mm-hmm.
I love that on a reread. It's like the only person I know that would yell at the general is my sister. Like,
Fair
yes.
enough. Fair enough. As a
Um,
big sister, I would yell at the general mom. I'm just saying, I am afraid of very few things, and my mother is pretty much it. But I'm still
fair.
going to talk back.
But it was just so I love that. And then we get the like fun scene of like Mira prepping Violet to save her. Like her goal is that you're
Yes.
crossing the parapet, you're not falling off. And
Right.
Also, like the parapet, I pictured it was like half a foot, like 6 inches, you know.
Same. I was like, it is a tightrope. In my
It's
head,
like you're
it
walking
was a
across a two
rock
by four, is what I was
rope. Yes.
picturing just about
Yes.
it, you know. And it says it's like 18 inches. Now, granted, you're up above, there's no side rails, there's nothing below you. So, like, that already is like fun. And I don't remember the distance, but I'm like, 18 inches is a lot wider than you think.
And like foolishly, I'm like, I could do that. And I'm like, no,
Got
no, you
that.
can't.
Maybe
No,
not in
you
a
can't.
storm, but
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of the storm, so you bring up a very interesting part of the storm, and this kind of gets into spoilery kind of stuff. So Lilith, who is Violet's mother, is a storm wielder. And we know Violet is a lightning wielder. We find out that later. But with magic system, and this is another big spoiler, and we'll get into how this plays into later. In the fourth wing universe, magic has to have a balance. So every positive person, so every good guy who has a power, a bad guy has the same
yeah, there's always
power.
like a counter to it.
Yes, there's always magic has to there always has to be balance. So when Violet crosses the parapet, the storm happens. So who made the storm?
That's my thing. I'm like, is that something going on where her mom wasn't in control of her signet, or was it
Uh-huh.
just a storm? But yet she was like, I'm not gonna, could she make it go away
But she
or
see,
not?
I don't know because if it was okay, so in Fourth Wing we know that Venom are the bad guys. And it's okay, speaking of which, my cats have not seen me all day long, so you're meowing. It's just the babies. Hi baby. Um, so the Venom are the bad guys. We think the Venom are the bad guys. I have multiple theories on who is good and who is bad.
More to come in
Um,
later podcasts.
more to come. Um, with Violet's mother, Lilith, being the quote unquote good guy, is it who is the Venom balance? Who is her balance? And was she so out of control with her emotions she couldn't control it? Because, like if we think about Disney's Encanto, there's the ant that controls the weather. And when she feels out of control, she can't control her emotions. So she can't control her powers. So is that I mean, I feel like we see Violet when she's practicing, when she's more emotional, she's not as focused. Um, but I feel like she doesn't wield until you have to tap into power to wield. So it's a whole
She's gotta have that wing leader.
yes, she does. Yes, she does.
So like my thoughts, like after reading the current what's available in this series and then going back and reading Fourth Wing, I'm curious if there's not a villain that's causing some of this to mess up the
I
writers.
I would argue
But since
yes.
we already know they're very sneaky in crossing the wards, even though everything it tells you in
Yes.
Fourth Wing is that they cannot.
Yeah.
Spoilers, they can.
They
So it
very
makes
much
me
can.
wonder, was there something going on? And it's not like they have like a detector and Lilith would have known because if the
Right.
dragons don't know, the writers typically don't know what's going on because
Right.
the wards weren't failing. So it's like, what's going on?
Right.
Or was it
I
just a
have a
storm? You know,
I
like
have a
was it just a
theory.
storm? It was July, so like it could have been a storm.
I
you
have a
know.
theory about that as well, about how they didn't know that they were coming across. So Melgren, who is the general, like, isn't
The
he the
head. He's like the
head
head
of the
top guy. Yeah.
yeah. So his power, his signet is quote unquote seeing the future in so many
Of
ways. So
battles. Of
a battle.
battles.
So I have always wondered if he is one of the people that are letting the venom in and he is seeing the outcome and he's changing small things to make it possible for these venom to break through the wards and say things. So we'll see. That's one of my
I
little
don't like
theories.
General Milgren. I think he's a baddie.
I do too, and not a baddie like a baddie, but like you are a bad
Like
guy.
a big bad and so well, I have
Egg
some theories
Melgren.
on General Melgren and his dragon, but we'll hit those later. Uh, because they don't really pertain to the first half of this one. But
They really don't. But now we're,
um,
because it's so hard. It's so easy because the
it
first half of
is,
this book is world building.
but it's so interesting. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about this before we got on the podcast. Like, Mira's prepping Violet, getting her ready. So she repacks her
Yes.
rucksack. She gives her a smaller rucksack that's more
Yes.
tangible for her. They have an argument over books.
Yep. I was going to bring that up. I have it tabbed.
And Violet's a reader. She loves her books. She was planning on being a scribe and
Mm-hmm.
everything, but she's trying to walk
I'm
across
just,
risking death for like a whole big bag full of books, right? I'm like, I get it. I get it. Like,
fair, girl. I ain't going nowhere with it. I am
but
not going on
yeah,
vacation without
she
3 books.
haggles with Mira and they said you can have your poison book, thankfully. And the
Thankfully.
one she was desperately trying to hold on to is one that their dad had given them.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to do with like it's what oh no, what's it called? It's like Fables of the Baron or something. I
Yeah,
did
I
not
don't
look up the
have
name
the.
of it.
Oh,
It's a fable book, and we
it
know
is.
fables are like older stories that are passed down to teach us
Yes.
lessons. But and their dad used to read it to them. Their dad was a scribe before he died. Like so, his
He
dad
was
knew
a
his
scribe.
stuff. Um, but Mira takes it, and Violet's like, okay, it's it, fine. I don't get it, So Mira's goes with her to sign up, and everyone's like, you're
Right.
Sorengale, you're General Sorengale's daughter, and she's like, yes, yes. Even
Yes,
though she
those
likes to
Sorengale.
pretend I don't exist, yes, I am the
Yep.
other Sorengale. And Mira tells her two things as she's about to like last goodbye to Violet, and it don't make
Sorry.
friends and stay away from Zayden Ryerson because
Yep.
he will be out to get you because when the war happened, when Erasha tried to rebel and stuff, their mom, who was a general, was responsible for the children of all the people that rebelled.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some bad blood there, and
Oh, and
their
that's real bad blood.
yeah, supposedly their mom's responsible for Zayden Ryerson's dad's death, and Finn Ryerson was responsible for Brennan's death, their
Mm-hmm.
brother, supposedly. Uh,
Suppose allegedly.
so,
Allegedly.
and Violet's like, okay, I'll stay away from him. Like, literally in the same
Like a moth to
chapter,
a flame.
but it's the same chapter. You like flip the page, and she's like making friends with another writer or potential writer, a cadet, going up like the
Like,
swirly,
dang.
like turret to get up there, and they're talking and chatting and da 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 da. They're chatting with this other guy who's really nice. I'm like, yeah, you're dead.
Oh,
Like
isn't
I
his name
called that.
Dylan? Yeah, I was really
um,
hopeful that Dylan was gonna live.
no, as soon as he was talking about future plans, like after the writer's quad, I'm like, he's dead.
He
He's a
did.
goner. He's not making it out of here. I didn't realize in like literally like two paragraphs down, he's gonna
I
fall
was
off the
like,
parapet
oh.
dead. Like,
And when you're in the parapet, guess who's behind Violet and Rhiannon? Jack freaking Barlow. That blonde-headed bastard.
but so funny though. But before she crosses the parapet, they gotta give their names again. Who's
Mm-hmm.
waiting? Zayden Ryerson.
Zayden Ryerson.
And she's
Eh.
literally like, I'm supposed to stay away from him, but he is the most gorgeous human I've ever laid eyes on. I'm like, girl, you're a
I
goner.
mean,
Like,
now listen, we have all been like, that's the bad boy. We shouldn't follow the bad boy. But literally every book that I read, every time, every TV show, every movie, it's like, stay away from the bad guy. I'm like, no.
bug to bug zapper.
Like a moth to a flame, baby. I'm like, a dark-headed man. Got it.
So it's funny, and like they have a little bit of back and forth there.
Mm-hmm.
Rhiannon is like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Do you know her?" She's like, "We're friends." And he's like, "Odd," you know.
Yeah.
He also notices they have two different boots on because your homegirl was like, "Switch boots with me so you can make it across the
Mm-hmm.
parapet. We'll each have one." Um, we're not making friends, but like I'm gonna risk my life.
But here's a boot.
you
Like
know,
Violet's lack of own self perseverance is
which
very
comes up
low.
in later books.
It
And
does.
well, yeah. Our Onyx Storm Pod may have to be like 3 or 4
It
podcasts.
may have to be.
We may have to break that
Man,
up.
that is going to have to be something.
Uh, but yes, our lovely enemy we all love to hate, Jack Barlow, who
Jack,
instantly his first scene on the page is being an asshat.
Yeah,
Like,
he
can I just
is.
say that?
He's like, I'm Jack Barlow, and you better remember it, cause I'm gonna be a leader one day. And we're like, shut
Well, he might
up.
be. Who knows?
I mean, he might be.
Just say leader of what?
Yeah.
But he kills a dude on the parapet,
Yeah,
like
he
throws
does.
homeboy off and like is behind Violet, so she has to like run. And as we were talking, the parapet is like 18 inches, so a foot and a half stretching. I guess it's like going up, it seems like. Anyway,
I think so. I think it's not a straight. You have to climb it.
yeah, like you have to go across it. So there's some challenge there. It's windy, it's raining, you got a big backpack on your back. Not an easy cross.
You're right. And you've got one shoe.
She
You've got
has two
one.
shoes. One's just slick on one side
Yeah.
and one has grip. So,
Yeah.
you have unstable joints. Why not have unstable shoes? I'm
Why
just saying.
not? I mean, heck, that may balance you out. Who knows?
Also, like, what technology they have with magic? Can we not brace this girl to having to wrap
S-
everything like full
Right. And
body wrap? I'm picturing ace bandages like across her
just like,
entire body, like she can't
this is
move.
fine.
But she makes it across the parapet,
She
like
does.
boots on the ground, and Jack's coming for her, and she holds a dagger to his junk, which I love.
Yes,
I'm like,
girl.
yes, on my first read. And the writers are so
Where it's like,
nonchalant. The one like writing people's names and like make it, she's like, name, like never looks up. She's like, technically, she's a cadet. You're not. I'm like,
you're not off the parapet.
oh,
So are
it
you going
was
to be?
so good.
I love when they're like, are you going to be a eunuch today? Or so Violet, are you going to make him a eunuch today? And I'm like,
She should have just killed him right there. It saved us all a lot of trouble. Uh, it
for
would have. It have
real.
saved us a lot of trouble. A whole
For
lot of
real.
trouble.
Like,
Uh,
more trouble than you know.
but also, then like right after that, her and Dane have like the Legally Blonde moment of like, what are you doing here?
What? Like, it's hard?
Right. I love
Violet?
that though. Violet, what are you doing here? And
Violet?
like rushes her to his room, Mr. I follow the rules always. you know.
Now, I kind of this is kind of a hot take. I kind of always loved Dane Atos. He is a flawed child.
That is the best. Like I disliked him because he was
Yeah,
annoying. I'm like, dude, you're not her mother, you're not her boyfriend,
true.
but I get it. You're like her longtime best friend. You're trying to protect her. He's probably been picking her broken self up for like
For
15
real.
years, like let's be honest. So he probably is deeply invested in this relationship.
Right. And like there's not many people like when you're high up, like their parents are both high up in Basgaia. Like
Yeah,
they're
like and
both
his dad is her mom's assistant. So like they've
yes.
lived in multiple places together.
Yes.
Like I think his year, he's a second year in the writer's
Hmm.
quadrant, but I guess that was the first time they've actually been apart and like
I
not
think
talked to each
so.
other.
Hmm.
But it's just one of those funny, like I have a love hate with Dane. Like I like him after like in Iron Flame, he redeems himself with me.
He does.
And my hot take for this enemies to lovers is actually the rest of everyone reading the Empyrean series and Daenerys later in the
Yeah.
books.
Yes.
like
Yeah, you can't be an enemy to lover if you fall in love with them the minute you see them. Like they're not your
no.
enemy.
It's kind of like, oh, you're supposed to be enemies, but you're not.
Right.
They're not really enemies. They never
Yeah.
are. But Daenerys is an enemy of the readers up until
Yeah.
Onyx Storm for most people.
Yeah. Yeah, I always kind of liked Dane. I wanted to like Dane a whole lot more, and then Dane really pisses you off here later
He
on.
does.
But I like Dane.
He's
That's
22. He's dumb.
he is. Boys in general don't make great
It's not any
decisions.
different in the fantasy world than in the world we live in.
Nope,
They're
it is
22.
not.
Um, but it's so funny. And then like he puts Violet and Rhiannon, who was the girl Violet gave her shoe to, in the same squad, which is
Mhm.
odd because they pretty much like randomize everybody.
Mhm.
Which is funny to me. I'm like, is that not weird? Like nobody questioned that? Just like
No, I guess it's because it's Violet and it's Dane, and you're not gonna question the
I
leadership's
guess. I mean, and
children.
Dane was like, tell so and so she has a problem with it. I saved her butt at threshing. I'm like, okay.
Okay, we calling in favors real early.
Yeah. I was like, odd take, but all
Yep.
right.
Okay. But then Mr. Zayden Ryerson puts them in
He
fourth
moves their
wing.
squad to his wing
Yeah,
because
he
he is a wing
does.
leader. I'm like,
Yeah,
how
he
did that
is.
conversation go down? You know what I mean? Like his reasoning for that. Like we know why he was trying to move her.
Mm-hmm.
Later on we find out he's actually trying to protect her within reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like his
Yeah.
deal is obviously if someone kills her in a challenge or she dies on the gauntlet or threshing, that's not on him. But like
No.
in general, he's trying to look out for her.
Right.
But we don't know that till later.
Right. And I wonder if like it has to do with his signet, like
Right.
how he influenced those conversations or,
Well, but
influenced his responses.
yeah, begs the
So,
question because we also learn further on into this series your signets grow and improve as you get better at
mm-hmm.
them.
Yes, they do.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So what I thought was fun, and this is where like they start breaking everyone down into like their formations and stuff.
That,
Like I have notes because I was like, this is
thank God.
wild. Um, and this is like for all of Besgaiath War College, there are 4 quadrants, you know, riders, scribes, infantry, healers. They also are broken down into the same, like they have wings and squads and everything. Like we get more
Mm-hmm.
insight to that in Iron Flame when they get paired up for
Mm-hmm.
survival training with other people, but they have like squad leaders and seconds and stuff like that, and like executive
Mm-hmm.
officers and all that. But for purposes of where we are in the writers quadrant, so you're in the writers quadrant, there's 4 wings.
Mm-hmm.
You have 4 wing leaders. Pretty much what they say goes.
They the boss.
Like, and if there is an issue, they meet together and discuss it. And if you have to get Pancheck, which is like the commandant over the college, he's like, somebody better be in
Yeah.
serious trouble. I'm like, I picture, like, I know he's not because he's supposed to be a ready to fight writer. I picture the laziest person in the world. Like, like a washed up athlete who's like not trained well,
he's like the
like don't
he's
come
like
find me unless someone needs to be killed. Like, leave me alone is who I picture. I know that's inaccurate, but that's who I picture when he gives like, don't come to me.
he's like the older brother in the 90s movie that's like, but he doesn't really want to do anything.
Yeah, he's like, if I have to get the codex out, which is the only rule book that they have, like, he's like, don't get me involved in this at all. And so it's like you have your wing leaders, and then they each have executive officers who
Mm-hmm.
kind of are like their go-between. And then you have 3 sections. So you have 4 wings, and then each wing has 3 sections: claw section, well, flame section, and tail section. Then
Mm-hmm.
it breaks down even further to there's 3 squads in each section. I
It's
mean, and it's military, so it makes
yeah.
sense on that scale. We only see it scaled to Violet because it's her perspective and her
Mm-hmm.
squad and wing that she's in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it's like each squad has a squad leader,
Mm-hmm.
and your squad is made up of first, second, and third years, which I thought was interesting too, because it's like, okay,
Yeah.
Zane is technically their squad leader. Their main squad is all the first years before they get weeded out, but there's also surviving second and third years who are still
Yeah.
there, are part of their squad.
Right.
They just are standoffish of the first years because so many of them die. Like, I
Yeah,
get
and
it.
that gets brought up. It's like we don't make like they even say like some of the
It
second and
happens
third
like, yeah, some of them don't even
they
talk to him till like the morning of threshing. They're
yes.
like, good
Or
luck.
yeah, because they're like, we don't learn your names because there's a high
Yeah.
probability you're not going to make it. You're not going to cross the
And it's
parapet.
like,
You're not going to make it through the
oh,
gauntlet.
yeah, I'm like,
You're
that's harsh, but I get it.
you're going to get eaten by a dragon. Like,
Yeah, or you're gonna kill each other in challenges and
yep,
stuff like that. Like, this is a
yes.
very like there's a character we get introduced to soon. Imogen calls it a death college, and she's not
Yeah.
wrong.
She's not
She's
wrong.
so not wrong.
She's not wrong.
I was like, whoa, this chick is intense when
Imogen
she's on
is
first
really
page, but
intense,
she's one of my
man.
favorites because I'm like, I want more of her.
Yes.
Just because we get enough nuggets of her throughout the series, I'm like, she's a ride or die for her people, but if she don't like you, she don't like you.
She don't give a shit about nothing.
Yeah, but
And
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
and I feel like, and I don't know if this is just because I haven't read it in a little while, but like Imogen has pink hair, and I don't know of many other people, or I don't know of anybody else that they have specifically like said that they have colored hair.
So like Keaton, who is also in their squad, is a
Oh
30,
yeah.
has like flames on the
Yeah,
sides
that's
of
true.
their hair.
That's true.
And like there's a few random notations, like when she
Right.
first crosses the parapet, or like someone's got like a dragon scale tattoos and
Right.
stuff like that. But like there's not a lot of like wild colored hair,
Right.
which is not uncommon in some of the other fantasy books where we got like immortals and humans mixed in. People got crazy hair, but this is like humans, there's
Yeah.
not. So it begs the question, is her hair actually pink or she dye it?
Who knows?
And that's a theory I have later, like later books.
Yes.
It
Yes,
comes
I have
into
that too.
play. I'm
I have,
curious.
yes. Absolutely.
Um, but yeah, we meet Imogen, who,
She's a badass, man.
yeah,
She
she's intense, and I love it because they go to on-mat challenges, and she basically rips Violet's arm out of socket
she does. She's like yoink.
because she's trying to kill her because
Yeah, she
she's a
is.
Mark twin.
Yep.
And I guess we technically haven't hit on that. The Mark twins have relics. Most of them have a relic coming up their arm, and that's about it. Some of them
Hmm.
have it on up, like, talks about
Right.
Xaden when Violet's like, oh, he's so hot. Like, it comes
He's
all
a
the way up his
hot.
neck. And it mentions
And
it a lot when he's agitated, he'll like scratch it, but I think it's like drawing attention to it.
hmm.
So like, yeah, I know my place. Like, I know how well liked I am, kind of
Yep.
things what I get from it. He's like,
Yeah.
um,
I get it. And
but
we know that Mark twins are children of rebels from Eurasia, that are allowed to come to Basgiath. And they're the ones that, lived and didn't get killed during the rebellion. So
well, yes, they live. Their parents did not.
their parents did not,
Um,
but they let the children live.
yeah, we
So,
find out later that their relics appeared when their parents were crucified or put to
hmm,
death, whatever you want to call it, by General Milgen's dragon. So the
yeah,
relic came from him somewhat,
yeah,
which is
which is kind of
interesting
interesting too.
because there's rules that, you know, no more than three Mark twins can gather
Hmm.
together. And it's like, that's an interesting rule to have. We find out
Hmm.
later why,
Hmm.
more towards the end of this book. And it's really interesting when you find out that's why, but also his dragon did it. I'm like,
I
what's
know, and
Coda
that's
playing at? Like,
right, because like when you bond, and we'll get into this later, you get marked by your dragon. Um, so like I guess did Coda individually mark them all, or when he was, crucifying the other parents, did the marks, you know what I
well,
mean?
so like it also in Iron Flame, Xaden has like a rune that Liam's mom did. She gave it to every child of an officer, and it had something to do with their relic.
Yeah.
When the parents basically sacrificed themselves and let themselves be
Yeah.
put to death, all the kids to protect them.
Interesting.
So, but
Interesting.
there was something I'd have to look it back up. But there's a
Yeah.
tie-in with the relic, the protection relic she made,
And the
ward she
rune.
made
Yeah.
in Coda. But I'm like, that's interesting that Coda would let it be okay with his bonded riders, the general of all the Navarian armies.
Right.
But it doesn't seem like he's exactly in agreement with him. And like when you bond your dragon, you can talk mentally to one another, which that's a
Mm-hmm.
wild concept. I'm like, I got enough
Right.
voices running around up here and enough
I
thoughts. Like,
got enough stuff to sort through.
as cool as that would be, I don't need someone else weighing in on the thoughts running around in my head. Like, you know what I mean?
I've got enough stuff to sort out on a daily basis. Let's not add in a dragon.
But also later on, some of the dragons are really entertaining, and I would like to know their conversations with their riders.
I would too, because like, well, when we get to the dragon part, some of the dragons are very serious, and some are very moody, and some just seem
Well,
like,
some are just like very just like quick-witted and
mm-hmm.
like it's just a very entertaining.
It really
But
is.
so, Violet gets beaten up big time in their first round of challenges.
Yeah, she
She's coming
does.
back. So Dane takes her to the healers quadrant. That's where we get introduced to a mender because one of the
Yeah.
writers works with the healers of mending. So essentially, healers are basically like sutures, surgery, bandages, medicines, things like that. And a mender can actually like heal certain things like through their
Mhm.
signet. So they're a more rare signet.
Mhm.
Um, there's only two mentioned
Yeah.
by name. Like there's another one that heals somebody in Iron Flame, but we don't get a mention of who they are.
Right.
So like it's a more rarer signet, it sounds like. But,
Right.
you know, so she's getting her shoulder put back in place. She's drugged up.
She
Dane's telling her she doesn't belong in the writer's quadrant. She
trying
has
to
to
get her
run
to
away.
leave.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't, she's
I
like
don't
smashed,
wanna
She's like, I'm supposed to be here.
leave. I
She
made it across the
hobbles back to their
pyramid.
bunks. And how much would that suck, though? Like, you volunteer for a quadrant, you risk your life to cross the parapet, you get thrown into all these different squads. You watch a dragon burn people who ran away. I forgot about that. Like
Oh yeah.
they roasted some that ran away after this big crazy speech.
Yeah.
Because I think people kind of know what they're getting into in the writer's
Right.
quadrant, but they don't fully understand it till you're there, is what I got
No.
from it. Like,
Right.
even the ones,
Because it's
a lot
very
of them have
secretive. Because
family, but a lot of them have family who are writers and stuff. Like, they know, but I don't think they know till they get there.
right.
And you have to sleep on like a cot in a room of like 30 plus people.
So it's very much basic training.
Yeah.
It's very
like,
much basic
I'm like,
training.
oh, that sounds terrible because you're already like, you're not supposed to harm a writer at night, like while they're asleep. But it's like, that would suck so bad. But she finds a book under her pillow. Mira took all of her other books, but left her a journal from their brother, who was also a writer.
Oh, Brennan.
And that's where Violet starts becoming a fun little poison master, which was
Yes.
great.
Yes. So like, and it even kind of highlights the fact that like she is very, we know she has this disease. We know that her joints are very weak. So she is, and she's at a clear height disadvantage. She's weaker, she's smaller, she's
Yeah.
more fragile, but she is smart. And she uses her wits to be like, okay, if I can't beat these people just outright, what can I do? So she starts poisoning people at breakfast.
Well, yeah, but like she figured, like Britta gives her some tips on how you find out
Yep,
who you're gonna be facing,
yep,
so she can start poisoning these
yep.
people, which is great.
It is great.
Um,
Girl's gotta live. Like she's already
yeah,
like, and that's one of the great characters. Like the great characteristics about Violet is like, bitch is gonna live, but she
yeah.
don't give a shit if she dies either.
She is literally one of the smart, like dumbest smart people you
Oh
meet in
yeah.
literature. Like
Oh yeah.
she's super smart, and like they even note it like most like, oh, she picks up things and puts stuff together. Like there's
Hmm.
times like later when we get some of Zayden's perspective, he's
Right.
like, I love watching her process all these emotions and all these things and da da da
Right.
da. They're like, Violet, come on, think about it. But she's also dumb.
She is. She is like when they
Like,
but like they have classes at Bass Guy too. So like not only are you training like on the mat doing physical training, you're also doing like information training. So they have battle brief every day. And Professor DeVera, who in my head is just the coolest
yes,
human ever.
yes,
Like she's just the coolest person ever.
100%, yes.
Like I can't even picture like I know they describe like what she looks like, but in my head it's so much cool. Like I can't even tell you what I explain because I just am like, okay, that cool kid like when you were in elementary school and there was that cool kid in like high school. That's Professor DeVera. Like she knows
Yeah,
everything. She is the one who does the battle brief along with what's his name,
Markham,
Markham. They do
the
battle
head
brief every.
scribe person.
Yeah. And they give you like, so they'll give you scenarios and give you information. And Violet is just like, snap, 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 snap. I got this.
Well, and she knows so much of it when they're talking about battles from the past because she was in the scribe quadrant all
Right.
the time, working on becoming a scribe and helping her dad and like all this stuff. So, like, they'll talk about current skirmishes and past skirmishes, trying to teach
Right.
people battle strategy,
Yes.
basically. Because, like, even in like the first one, DeVera's like, and this is the only class that the entire
College has
writer
to.
quadrant has together. So they're in like really like a college setting is what I felt
Yeah.
like. The professor's at the bottom and everyone's setting up, like a
Yep.
auditorium kind of like
Uh-huh.
setting. And like she opens it up to first years first, and one of them's like, "Why don't you just send more troops?" She's like, "We don't have any more to send."
Guys, this
Like
is Noodle. Y'all have met Mac Mac. This is Noodle.
he's
Him's
like,
a
"Finally, I got up here."
him
Uh,
did.
but they're going around, and that's also where we get more from Jack Barlow when like Violet's trying to play low key because she's already recognizable from her hair. People know the general's youngest daughter is a weakling, quote
Oh
unquote,
yeah,
like
we didn't
always
even talk about her
sick,
hair.
all this stuff. It's like she's trying to keep her head down. So she tells Rhiannon to ask a question about like altitude or something.
Hmm.
And Devera's like, Violet, ask your own questions next time. Like she knew automatically that was a Violet question. It's like they've not
Hmm.
really interacted, that we know of. They might have, because Violet's been living at Beskaya for the last few years. And Violet starts processing out loud, and Jack's like, oh, precognition's not a thing. Turns out later it might be.
It
Uh,
might be
so,
precog. That
um,
is such a like. That's
I
deep. That gets
That
deep.
is deep. That gets into like predestination
Bye,
kind of
Noodle.
stuff. And like all seers are like, oh, I can't tell you that. Like that's why
Right.
seers are like, I can't tell you those things. Or like what, and you see like other like the fates, they can only tell you so much because that's a crazy amount of control and lack of balance in
Hmm.
the magic world.
Yep.
Like as frustrating as it can be, that's a power you don't necessarily want to be able to see certain
Mm-mm.
things. But I wonder what the limitations are on it because like Milgren can see the outcome of battles.
Right. And I feel like it may be like, I wonder if it's just like there's a like, because you draw your power from your dragon. Like
Yeah.
you get your power from your signet from your dragon. So I wonder if it has to do with like the strength of your dragon or like
I just
how
don't know like
much.
how far in you can see or if it's only about certain things. Like,
I wonder if it's like how much your dragon is willing to give you.
true. Because, like obviously burnout is an issue that we will
Hmm.
discuss later too, because like the dragons have a lot of power. You channel through
Yes, they do.
them, but it's also I wonder on some of that stuff, it's like how much are the dragons letting you channel?
Hmm.
Because we probably should do a podcast just on dragon lore, honestly.
Listen, dragon, like the
Like in
dragons,
this world, but it's
you.
very, and like so like people shut Jack Barlow up. Like he's already being a jerk and all this, but like she gets proven correct when Devera's like, exactly, the
Hmm.
dragons warned us. They could sense the words were falling, and so they flew people. So also, reminder for anyone who hasn't listened to Fourth Wing in a while or read it, we have Navarre and like there's basically forts is what I
Yeah.
picture.
Yes,
It's
yes, I very
forts,
much,
like,
yes.
like for us, we got like Fort Donaldson, Fort whatever, I'm
Yeah.
like, that's what I
Like forts on your
picture.
border. Like think of it like,
Yeah,
you're
there's
because they're in an active
war
zone.
situation.
Like they're in a
Always,
war
yeah.
zone always. So you have to along the border are
Yeah.
places that are towns that are kind of fort towns. There are people that live
Yeah.
there, but there's a military presence from Basgaya there as well. And
Right.
there's an
But that's
armory
where
and
people
things
from
like
all
that.
four of the quadrants are stationed at. There's healers,
Yes.
scribes, infantry,
Yes.
and riders at all of the outposts or forts. I like calling
Yes.
them forts because it just makes
I
sense in my
do.
brain.
It,
But
yes.
they have like
Especially when you don't understand military.
they have them, out on the outposts in like mid-level ones, kind of like halfway points is what I
Yes.
picture, which makes sense for trade and stuff and everything. But so they send groups when they hear this information and stuff and try to
Hmm.
protect people. And then they start opening the questions up to like second years and third years. That's when like bum 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 Zayden speaks up.
Eh,
And like he like rarely speaks up
Zaddy.
too. It's so good.
It is.
Um,
I want to take a moment, guys, for something because, like, I'm a
yes.
book tabber when I read it. Red is Zayden. Okay, hello. So I have
I
it
love
down.
it.
Like I have my little post-it that I put. I have these mini post-its. So like, yellow is plot. There's a lot of plot. Orange is dragon, and red is Zayden because Zaddy Ryerson needs his own color.
So funny. I am not a big tabber. I tab the things that I wanted to come back to. They're all the same color because that's how my brain works.
When I was doing some research for this guy, it would have been real easy if I would have like not tabbed everything that I thought was important. Now, a lot of it, I was proud that I had some tabs that were really important. But then, like, after, like, we get through Devera, we kind of go into dragon lore from there. Like, um,
Well, but before that, why Violet's sneaking around Best Gaia's campus getting
yeah, she do that.
her poison stuff, she overhears a meeting of the Mark twins.
Oh, yes, yes, that is before.
And it's great. Like she's like climbing a tree with her arm in a sling, trying to be sneaky. And like
She's like favorite in the spring court when they're all like, she's
even
like, I
more
got
so
this.
when you realize she's like hiding in the shadows and Zayden's signet is a shadow builder. So he knew she was there and probably
Yeah, he
helped hide
did.
her. He had to have helped hide her some more because they'd have killed her.
They
There'd
would
been no
have
way for him to have defended
immediately.
her in that, and they would have had to the right to, you know.
Absolutely, because she is like she is the figurehead. Like her family is the
Yeah,
figurehead
but I
of what they
love
were
like
rebelling
why she's
against.
overhearing this. She's like, "Oh my gosh, they're not supposed to be meeting." But she
Right?
realizes they're just trying to help the first years. They're like,
They
"Who's
are.
struggling on the mat? Who's struggling here?" And da, da. But she notes it odd when one of them's like battle brief, and the advice is, like say what they say, da 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 da, and it's like that's odd. Why would you not want them to
Mm-hmm.
glean more from that? But we find out later because the marked ones know what's up.
Yep, they
They
do.
know the good, the bad, the ugly of the continent,
They for
you
sure
know.
know what's going on. They're like, yes, I do.
Yeah, and it gets even deeper later. We're like, oh, like they know the truth of what's
Yeah,
going
they do.
on, and so many other people are blinded by
Right.
it. But it's just funny. And then after all the other Mark twins leave, she thinks Zayden's gone. She climbs down, and he's like, I'm about to break your neck. Like you're dead."
Hey, girl.
Um,
Hey. That's when
they
you
have
get
their
when it.
little banter because she throws daggers at him, and he like pulls them out with his shadows. It's like, oh, she's dead.
Oh,
Like
she's so
she's
dead.
so dead at any moment
But
here. But he's actually
Zaddy
kind of intrigued.
Ryerson.
He's intrigued, or he would have just killed her.
Yeah,
Like,
he's like, oh, girl got spunk. Girl
Yeah.
got
But
spunk. What she? This little heifer gonna try to kill me? I like it.
I love when
I
he's like,
like
oh, you
it.
look all breakable, but you're violent.
Yeah, violence,
Like,
and then you're just
yeah.
like gagged, gagged. Whenever,
But
so
it was so funny because she's tiny because she's
she
not
is.
trained. She doesn't have a lot of muscle mass either. But he's like,
Yes.
"Your Violence is her nickname after
Yeah,
this."
you're a violent little one. That's what I'm gonna call
Um,
you, violence. And I'm like, ah.
but it was funny though too because she proved to him that like she can see multiple sides because she's like, "You aren't doing
Absolutely.
anything wrong. Why would I rat y'all out?"
Right.
Like you're trying to help them. Like she says, she's like you're trying to help them. And like she even
Hmm.
notes in her brain, I wish someone from my Providence was trying to help me.
Right. Ain't nobody. Her
Like,
mom gave her 6 months and it's like, good luck, baby girl.
yeah, more power to yeah. And Dane's trying
Good
to send her
luck.
to the scribe quadrant. Like,
Yeah.
And
And that is,
she didn't listen to Mira's advice. Like
no,
she's
she
like
didn't. And her
you know,
brother's dead. So it's like,
his book's helping her, but
yeah, it is.
like that's but it's just funny because that's where like she, kind of saves face or proves something. He's like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, then he owes her a favor
Yeah, he
for not
does.
telling. But
He owes her lots of things, guys.
so she goes through like poisoning all of her opponents for like a month or two.
Hmm.
I didn't check the
And no
timeline
one
on that.
catches on.
I'm sorry. The least likely person to be able to defend themselves is magically people are all getting sick.
Right.
And the only person that questions it is Zayden Ryerson.
Hmm.
Like, so she gets tripped up. One of her people, like, and I love it when like the pre-chapter things, it's like one of the arts to poison it is knowing when to do it. It's like, oh,
Uh-oh,
something's
someone's
about to
getting,
happen.
yep.
So Chick gets too sick to even show up, and so Zayden
Hmm.
steps in, and Dane's freaking out. He's like, da da da. He's like, and she's like, he's my wing leader. He can kill me if he wants to. Like, what do
Yeah.
you shut up, leave me alone. So they're tussling on the mat, and he's, disarming her, making her look breakable. But I'm like, he's like 6'4" and she's 5'0". Of course she is.
Right. She's gonna be grateful. Guys, for anyone that watches this, Noodle has to sit around my neck like a scarf, and you may hear him purr And my this is just it's fine.
It's great. It's fine. He's fine. He can have opinions on the series too.
He
Uh,
said, I like Daddy Ryerson.
I love it. But she also gleaned some really good information from Zayden because he does teach
She
her.
does.
Like
She
he
does.
teaches her a few things and he drops while he's got her pinned to the ground. Like I've known better poison masters. You can't poison everybody
Right.
you come across. But I like how when he says you can't offer a cup of tea to a Griffin rider, I'm like,
Oh,
later offering tea plays
later.
off. So
Yeah, it does.
wasn't a Griffin rider, but she
But
saves
a
their
cup of
butts
tea.
with a cup of tea.
She does
I
save
just
their
thought
butts.
that was funny that he dropped that, and then later on in the series, I was like, oh, that's fun. That's a cute nugget. That's the cat butt for you.
It
Uh,
is. Guys, this cat. So Noodle, sidebar. We're gonna sidebar here. Noodle is a bottle cat. I found him when he was a little baby, and I bottle fed him, and now he's attached to people because Noodle is a people.
he's
Are
sweet.
you?
Me
Are
and Noodle
you?
are buddies when I come over. He's the only cat of hers that will like come out in people. Uh,
Can you
it's
get down,
great.
down? Thank you.
But after that, he
Oh,
gets on to Dane and like calls Dane out. Like, you should teach her
like
how to actually fight.
absolutely. Sorry, I'm
So,
like the people that are watching this. Sorry, I'm like wiping the cat hair off my
so
face.
sidebar, which is fun. I have the fourth
I
ring
knew.
edition that has his POV of this chapter.
Oh yeah. See,
And
I do
like,
not.
um, the things I enjoy is like obviously, when she's talking about she's getting pinned down by him and like notices like her body likes it, he's like, oh no, I need to
Oh
block this
no.
out,
Oh
like,
no.
but his dragon is the sassiest. I love Sigale.
Sagale.
She is like the
She's like
smart Alec in your face, gives you a ton of crap. I love it so
right,
much. Like,
and she's a blue dragon.
no, yeah, blue dragon, superpower. They're supposed to be ruthless, like
Like and
I
huge, like the biggest
love
dragons.
it.
I do too.
Yes. But you get to the end and like he's walking away and stuff, and Zayden's best friend Garrick is there, and I love it. He's
Oh,
like, let me find it. He's like, you're in the mood to spar with first years? It's like, and he's like, you know, he goes, or just that particular first year.
and he's
Like
like,
he's giving him crap. And Zane's like, I hate how observant you are, and like they're giggling, like Garrett's poking fun at him. He's like, it's hard to miss the way you look at her. And Zane's like I want to kill her. He goes, or and then like cuts him off. Zane's like, don't mess with me when I'm in the mood to punch people.
yeah,
Like it's great. Like Garrett, we need more of him in these
we
books.
do. We need more of
Um,
Garrick.
we
We
do.
need really more of all the marked ones.
I
But
think there's
like,
a reason we've not got much of their POVs yet. It's because she talks about like we don't get a lot of Zayden's point of view because he's got
hmm
secrets and stuff like that.
right?
And some of his secrets come into bigger play later.
Yeah, they do.
Um, some definitely in Fourth Wing and some big time in Iron Flame and so forth.
Absolutely.
But she even says like that's why she's not giving us those. But it's so funny. But after all that stuff on the mat, they train for the gauntlet.
Oh, the gauntlet,
Which
man.
the crazy thing is when I went back, they get 10 days to run the gauntlet before they have to run it for presentation day. And like one of them's like, why haven't we been practicing from day one? And Amaterio, he's like, because that'd be too easy.
It's just be too
I
easy.
know.
Like
Why would
you
it?
got to figure it
He's
out. You get
also
10
one
days.
of my favorite
He is really
professors.
good. He is really good.
Him and Devera are even more my favorite later in Iron Flame when they make the correct choices, and you're like,
They
yes, I knew I
do.
liked them for a
Knew they were the
reason.
best.
Uh,
Yes.
and Professor Kaori, I love him. Um, I love
Love
him.
Kaori. Love
Um,
Kaori.
but what I thought was interesting on the gauntlet, because like I was like trying to picture this. So in my brain, so like the gauntlet is basically at the bottom of a cavern. You have to run it up to get to the flight field to get to
Right.
presentation and all that. After you pass it, you can walk up the stairs, okay?
Right.
Like but my brain
I
pictures.
I think my ears are dying. Hold on.
Okay, I'll keep talking while you're.
Yes, you keep talking.
So, but my brain, even though I know it's going uphill, essentially at the side of a mountain, my brain pictures Wipeout. So we're
It
running horizontal. Is what my brain pictures.
yes, it is for sure Wipeout.
That's not. So I look, I was going through it and like you're going up, there's 5 ascents to it
Right.
for you to get to the top. The first one is like you're running across a big log that's spinning. Okay. So you're running
Right.
across it. Then you have to jump across posts. Then you got hop into the hamster wheel of death and have to get out at the right time. You do. It's a hamster wheel. Like after that, you're in it and you have to exit at the correct time to go across these big ass buoy balls. They're like
The
you have
big
to,
red wipeout balls.
yes, but you have to hold them and like swing. There's like five
Yes.
of them. I'm like,
Yes.
what the crap is this? So if you make it that far, then you have to like hand over hand across like 3 poles basically, and then run across something else. And like I'm like, oh my gosh, that's
It's like
crazy.
American Ninja Warrior meets Wipeout.
Pretty much, but you're going up a mountain. Like you're
Yeah.
going up to and then the next like ascent are rolling pillars on their side, like rolling logs. They're all rolling a different direction. So like you have to just keep going or that'll kick you back. This is
Yep.
how we lose our squad mate Orly, who
Oh, bless her.
dang dragons flying over top, like distracted them.
Yep.
Like she's laughing because she's living for this obstacle course of death. Like
And it is. It do be Wipeout of death.
it is, but like she dies, we lose her, but there's like these ropes that you can grab. She couldn't get to one, no one could get her one. It was just like boom, boom, she's gone down the side of the mountain.
Boom,
And
gone.
then once you get across the rolling logs of death, you have to go up this like chimney
Mm-hmm.
in an X, but it's like you have to be tall to stretch that and have enough to climb up. Like the only way you're getting up is looking like a stickman X going up.
Yep.
Violet's too short for that.
Yep.
Like she's like, I can't even reach either wall.
Right.
Like, can't do it. So that's where she keeps getting stuck time after time after time again. So she doesn't even see the last ascent. Like after that one, you have to run up the ramp, which I pictured American Ninja Warrior. That
absolutely.
Ramp but you also like you get to the top and you have to like throw yourself over. Then you've made it. Then you've made it. Like they time you on presentation day, but like that just determines when you enter to go let the dragons check at you. And
right.
stuff.
But the point is you just have to make it through. You don't have
to. But the
thing
is, when they're training, they can climb back down and try again. Presentation day is like you get up it or you die.
Yep.
I'm like, what if someone like can't get past it, but also they won't fall off?
Yeah, they're just like,
I mean, I guess at some
burn
point
me here.
I guess at some point you fatigue and fall. I don't know.
I guess you would.
So like Violet and like her squad mates are trying to figure out how can you do it? Because like you physically could make it if we could adjust something. Like they're like you're strong enough to get up it, but you can't physically get span the distance. Which I think is interesting because Zayden gives her a tip on this.
Yes, he does.
So like they burn everybody's objects who die because they're like it's a sacrifice to Malik, the god of death in this series, and you don't hold on to dead people's possessions and stuff. But
which is really weird why Bria has Brennan's book.
But not everyone believes in that, but some people, keep certain things too.
Right.
But big tradition is you burn it all. Like and at Best Gaiath, if a cadet dies, they send a letter to their family. It's like, look, you can come collect their things and their body and take care of it, or we can take care of it. So if most of the families don't come get them, so they get buried in, I'm picturing this crazy huge cemetery out beside the college.
Yeah. See, that's better than I was picturing. I was just picturing a ravine.
They just burn it.
Yeah, they just burn it and sweep the ashes.
And then they have like this, and they talk about their burning. So I'm like, oh, is it like a big? I'm like, no, it's like a burn barrel. I'm like, oh, so it's like on the street corner burn barrel, like you just throw their stuff.
God, what
is
that smell? Oh, it's just this person's stuff. You're just like, I knew they stunk.
Yeah, like you just incinerate their stuff. So like Violet carries it all up there and she's sad. She's like, dang, she was a strong cadet.
And we've lost a strong cadet. And look at me.
Right. Like, what am I going to do? And she's still trying to figure out how to get through the gauntlet. But it's funny because this also notes, like, as she's coming down and just, like, hanging out, she has this whole, like, scalp prickle thing happens. Because she also notes, she sees 3 dragons fly over. And this is in the middle of the night. Like, it's late.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are they doing? Comes down. Zayden and Garrick and Bodhi come walking through in flight leathers. Like, they've clearly been out flying. Zayden immediately knows she's there. He tells them to go on, and they're talking. They exchange some fun banter here, which I
They
love.
do.
And she's like, I don't understand my chances. He's like, oddest way I've ever been hit on. She's like, not hitting on you, you know. But he
Yes.
tells her, he's like, the right way is not always the only way.
Right.
And she's going off in all this, and he basically tells her, suck it up
Yes.
and figure it out, because you know what your alternative is, like
Yep.
no pity. Because he talks about, you know, your possibilities and all that. He goes, and the probabilities. He's like, focus on the probabilities so you don't get caught up in all this, which I'm like, that's
Right.
solid advice, actually.
It really is. It really is. And like he tries really hard to like hide how much he cares about her. We all know that Zayd and Violet are together. But he tries really hard to like help
keeps trying
her
to keep himself separated,
yes.
but he's also recognizes someone that needs to be told hard truths.
Yes.
Like,
and Violet is so smart that like you have to be just brutally honest with her, and that's really what she wants.
yeah.
Because everybody has been like, "Oh, you're the
She's being like coddled by
youngest."
Dane,
Yes.
and she doesn't like it. Like, she might have
No.
used to have liked it, but she doesn't anymore since she's been into the
No.
writer's quadrant. She's like, just let me be. Like, help
Right.
me or leave me alone.
Yep, that's it.
Like, there's not any in between. It's very interesting. But funness of is she makes it.
She does.
They have this like crazy encounter when they make it through presentation. Like, I made a note because I went back. They went through presentation with 8 people in their squad, first years.
Right, which is
2 of them got toasted.
Yeah.
Which I thought was so funny. Like, poor Pryor, who can't make a decision to save his life. But like, poor buddy. But like the
Poor
other
buddy.
one who's like super mean and annoying, like, and I love it when it's like she's talking about like feeling the fire, and Riddick's like, well, I guess they find her annoying too.
Yes.
Like, but she's like insulting dragons, so like they're very about respect and everything.
Yes, very much.
But it was just funny, and after that, Violet has it like close encounter with the green dragons. They're like checking it out, because like they can smell Mira's dragon on her from her armor.
Oh yeah, like Mira gives her the dragon scale armor before she crosses the parapet, and they smell tiny on her.
But she's like talking to the dragons because like, which is always odd. Like, she talks to all the dragons at some point in this series,
right? Which is a lot.
And and because they're very big on like, you don't talk to another rider's dragon, you stay far away from another rider's dragon, because like they only care about their rider.
Right.
She'll say things, like later on in the other books. I'm like, interesting. Like,
yeah. And they don't care that she talks to them either.
Yeah, like they just kind of acknowledge it and go on, which is always very odd.
Right.
But they get through presentation and they go through threshing. They get labeled the Iron Squad because they had the most survivors to presentation day. They lose a few more during threshing.
So. They do. Threshing, man. Threshing. I love
There's a fun scene with threshing. Because like Violet hears her enemies.
Yes.
Jack Barlow, Oren Seifer, and one of her squad mates, Tynan, have teamed up as buddies.
Yep.
And they're trying to go kill the little golden dragon that they saw, because they're like, oh, it's weak and da 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 da. And it's like, so Violet, poor Violet, sweet little Violet.
Violet's gonna stay.
This is not okay. I'm gonna go find the dragon and defend her. So like, she's traipsing through the woods, comes across the dragon. That's when she realizes this poor little thing don't even have claws. She got paws. Like, it's a baby dragon.
She's a little baby.
And she's like, she's like trying to get her to fly away and all this, and the dragon's just chilling. Yeah. And she's like, oh my gosh. So she faces off 3 cadets who are definitely bigger than her and want her dead anyway, And that's also like the funness, like in that scene, Xaden lands because Sigil was worried about the little golden dragon in Darna.
Yeah.
Like the wing leaders, and like I think it says also in there, like the squad leaders are supposed to be like flying around.
Yeah, because don't they get in this where they get a chance to like walk through the threshing after the gauntlet? They get a chance to just walk through the threshing area, or is
Mm-mm.
this just when they
This
just?
this is like threshing. They're monitoring things.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
And but there's big rules in the codex, like you cannot get involved in any of it.
Yes,
Like it does not
yes,
matter what you see going on, you cannot intervene in
yes,
any kind. So like Sigil lands because she realizes that Indarna is potentially in trouble.
yes,
Zayden's having to watch Violet fend off 3 dudes who are huge, and she's
yes,
holding her own. Like she really is. Like she wounds one, he runs off because she's a coward.
yes. She.
She takes a sword through the arm. That
Yep.
hurt. On a bum ankle too, because of course the girl twisted
Yes.
her ankle traipsing through the woods.
Of course she did, because
Um,
like she's going to, her joints don't work.
yeah, but and Zayden almost steps in. Like it mentions that like his POV in this
Mm-hmm.
too. He's like, I can't let this happen. Like she's
Yeah,
trying to defend the golden dragon.
because they're trying to kill it.
Yeah, that's when our boy Taryn shows up. That's when like a
Taryn.
shadow lands and says "Get down" in in like her head, and she
Yeah.
drops, and he just roasts Tynan.
Yes, he
You
does.
know, and he's like, "You should kill the one at your feet." She's like, "I can't kill an unarmed guy. Like Oren's knocked out.
Yeah,
Like Violet should have killed him,
she should have.
but she can't do it. Like because that's not the way
Once
she thinks.
again,
Like
Violet can't kill someone.
she's in a military college going
Yeah.
to but like she can't do it. It's not her. And that's when she realizes Taryn's talking to her, and she's like, oh my gosh, he's picked
Oh my
me.
god.
you know Sigil and Zayden fly away when Taryn lands. you
Oh,
know and we get that scene of like she finally gets on Taryn. He like lowers his shoulder and like gets
yeah.
her on because like she can't run up it and all this stuff.
No.
Like, and he's like, you have to hold on. She's like, I'm trying.
I don't know. I don't know
And
if I
he's
can
like,
or not.
did you not prepare for this? And she's like, I didn't think I'd still be alive. He's like, yeah, me either. He's just like,
Yeah.
but
Taryn
he's
is
my
so sassy.
favorite. He is such a curmudgeon, and I love it so much.
He is
So much.
so sassy, and he has like, oh, Taryn is honestly
I love it.
the dragons, like the story itself is really good. The dragons are what makes this book.
Absolutely.
Like
Because
they
like Taryn is a battle dragon.
Yes, he is. He's the
noted
biggest.
to have not been seen in like 5 years.
Right. So we can kind of
Because his rider fell in the Tirish rebellion and like hasn't really been seen since. So no one
Right.
knew he was showing up to threshing. Because
Right.
somehow they let the people at the college know they're willing to bond.
Yep, I guess.
I never understood that part. I'm like, interesting.
I
'Cause
wonder
we
if they
can't ask
just.
too many questions. I guess they just take a who shows up at presentation day.
I guess.
But homeboy showed up and bonded with the most unlikely writer ever.
Yes, the biggest dragon bonded with the smallest human.
Yeah, but he's
So
not the only one.
no, he's
like
not.
it's because like they land and she has to slide down his leg like a slide.
Yeah.
And he's
Like
like,
a-
I can do what I want. I'm a dragon. And she's like, well, you shouldn't
Yes.
have to. He's like, I don't care what anybody thinks. Like,
Yes, because they're very big on like being respectful of your dragon and making sure that like, even Terrence says like here, he's like, they do and they are and ignore it. Like,
yeah.
it's
And
fine.
I love it when they're like flying in. He's like, stay on or no one's gonna believe I picked you.
Yes.
Like, he's like, you are sabotaging my line of dragons. And he recites his like
Yes.
family lineage, and it's like, dude.
And it's like
Um,
it's just like, and then I think part of the best part is like when they get through threshing,
yeah.
that you have to say the name of your dragon to the person. And I've even put it down there, like they have a book of riders,
Yeah.
and you have to say it. And he like Taryn is like, my name is Ternanog and I am son of this and blah 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 blah. And then it's like, tell her the role, like, and she says like, and then she's like, and then all of a sudden in Violet's head she's like, and tell them I'm Andarnum or whatever, Andarna for short. And she's like, the hell, there's 2 people in my head.
And the girl taking down the names is like, are you okay? Do you need a mender?
Do you
Like,
need a
a
bender? Like, are
concussion or
you
something?
okay? So we know like Jack and the 3 other people, like the 2 other people, they don't kill Andarna. And and Darna decides to bond
And
with
all
Taryn.
hell breaks loose.
Yeah, it
they're
does, because
two dragons picked one rider.
that
Crazy.
is crazy. And then she's like, and like, even in the end, because like I get to the point and it's like, Taryn, what am I supposed to? I think at him, tell the role keeper her name.
Her name, yeah.
Tell her her name. Like, tell
Yeah.
her
And
your name.
I love it because like the dragons are totally unbothered by this.
No, they're not bothered at all.
You know, and like she's asking Professor Kaorius, he's like stitching her up, and he's like, don't know, but he's like on cloud 9 because
Yeah.
like he's almost like a historian, but like he's all about the dragon lore, and
Right.
his like signet is cool because he can like make his mind images out there. I'm
Yes.
like, that is cool.
He's like a mind. He's like, look at what I'm looking at.
Yeah, but he's like, oh, look at all the dragon politics, you know.
Yes.
But it's funny because when like, you know, all of a sudden like Coda lands, who is like bigger than Terran, he's like the only other documented black dragon out there.
Yes, and he is
you know.
Melgren's. I wrote that down. He is Melgren's
Yeah.
dragon, and he is the quote at this point in time. We know he is the oldest dragon.
Yeah.
Like Coda is the oldest dragon.
But they're from like the same lineage to some
Right.
degree. So I'm like, are they brothers?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because he's from like the Duke Medine line or whatever also.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting. But they don't get along. Like there's some animosity there between them two.
Yeah, there is.
And so I'm like, is that from Taryn's previous writer? Or because
Yes.
Taryn doesn't like Melgren? Like, you know
It
what I
could
mean?
be
Like,
either.
is
It could be either. And like,
I'm curious.
we know that Taryn's previous writer was Naolan, and with dragons, like, I just love dragon lore so much. I could talk about a whole day of dragon lore, but it's like, if your dragon dies, you die. If the rider dies, the dragon doesn't necessarily die, but they go through hell. Like,
yeah, because the bond is breaking. Like that bond breaking, it says sometimes can be the end of the dragon. Like,
yes, and it's really hard, and we, you know, for Taryn to survive a bond breaking is very,
like
very
we
big
find
deal.
out that's why he's not been seen in so long. He's
right.
just been
He's grieving.
Fun fact, he's grieving and also just going wherever his mate Sigale goes. So not only does Violet get tied to Taryn and Darna, she now will have a connection with Xaden and Sigale.
Yes.
Which is awesome. She is not happy and has no idea at this point until Dane pulls her aside as like being Dane, you know.
Yeah.
And he's saying like, oh, she's gonna have to choose and da 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 all these things. And he's like, oh, did Xaden step in? And boom, he appears. Like, what? Call him out. Like, oh, you're mad I saved your best friend.
Look,
you know,
I
like,
even have like a little.
Have it.
He does. He really does.
And you know, Zane's just like, I can't break the rules for you, and all this, you know, crap. Like, this is where I'm like, okay, Dane, you're useless. Please leave her alone and go on.
Dane is like,
you suck, but
he wants it. He's very Tamlin-ish sometimes. Like, he's very Tamlin-ish, and that's the only best. Like he wants to like go away, and like I'm reading in this book, like Xaden says, and I'm gonna red tab it because I didn't red tab it before. Like, I keep my tabs with me, guys. He says, I'm ordering you to answer, squad leader, because Dane is a squad leader.
So like, also we have Xaden's POV of this. And like Sigale's like, ooh, this is mean even for you.
This is
like, she's
like right. And it's like, it's
great.
just, it is.
And he's like, I need her to see he's such a rat. Like, he cannot stand Atos.
No, he cannot.
He's leery of Atos because Dane can read recent memories by touch.
Yes.
But Xaden seems to feel like he might be able to read them without, because he's like locks his shields down tight when Dane is around.
And like, I kind of wrote down in what Dane described, because Dane has got he's got a character arc to go through. And in chapter 4, and so early on, like if we're following on with chapters, we're in like chapter 16-ish. This end, like their conversation where like he ends, like where she finds out she's tethered is chapter 17. That's the next chapter. So in chapter 4, Dane tells Violet that he can read recent memories, but he's very specific in saying that he can only read them if he touches your temples. Like he
Yeah.
has to touch temples. And Xaden is very leery of that.
Right. And it's odd. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
because like so many people don't know Dane's signet.
Right. He has to keep it really close to the chest.
Yeah, like he has one of those special secretive signets.
Right.
And
He even
stuff.
has a patch about it.
But I'm also like, how does Xaden know because he's a wing leader?
I think so. Like at this
Or
point,
just because
I think at this point we assume he knows because he's in his squadron or in his wing. But Dane. He took like.
I do have notes of all the times
I do
he
too.
touches Violet.
Yes,
But we may have to hit that next time
we
because
may
I
have
think it'll
to.
hit harder.
I think it will
for
too.
part 2. But it's just interesting and it's funny to me because also in this section, you know, like Violet's makes note. She's always kind of had a thing for Dane.
Mm-hmm.
And he kisses her.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh,
yeah,
oh,
that
no,
happens at the end of like chapter 16, I
it's
think.
at the end of chapter 16.
Yeah, and then she's like,
it's really funny.
Yeah. And he's like, I kissed him and then but I've realized that is the least thing I have
but he
ever
also
wanted.
like touches her face
Mm-hmm.
afterwards and then steps back. So I'm like, did he realize she was like, oh no?
Mm-hmm.
And so that made it easier for him, like later on when he finds her and like, okay, that shouldn't have happened. Like nothing can happen between us till we're out of the quadrant. And
right.
blah, 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 blah.
And
but,
you're just like, nothing's gonna happen while we're in the quadrant, Dane.
Xaden's POV, and that was great because Garrick's standing beside him and like he's
Sweet
coming
Garrick.
apart at the seams because like in that, you know, like they get their relics from their bonded dragons.
Yep.
And like Taryn puts violets on her back. She gets this really cool one where it's like a big black dragon and a gold dragon in the middle. You know, but like Dana does like her armor, you know, and like like Xaden's standing there and Gary's like, dude, it's fine. He's lacing her back up, like chill. You know, like he's like it's great.
I love it.
And then when he kisses her, he's like, oh dude, I've never seen you jealous. And like so they're having this conversation. He's like, so the general's daughter, like we have to keep her safe now, right?
Yeah.
Because the problem is Violet is like the easiest target in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If you kill her, potentially you could kill Taryn, which would kill Sigale, which would kill Xaden.
Yep.
Because they're mates, like mated dragons. That's it, you know. Like, well. Anyway,
mated dragons later.
But it's just funny, and he's like, I don't want to talk about it right now. And he's like, you know, I could put Liam with her, and Garrett's like, oh, that's good. He wouldn't try to sleep with her, and he's like, I'm not worried about that. He's like, sure you're not.
Sure you're not.
Like,
sure you're
it's
not.
Such a great back and forth. I'm like, I want chapters of like them two and Iron, like later on when they're at their outpost as like lieutenants and stuff.
Yes,
because they're just so funny.
Yes, and then like.
Yeah, it's so good. No, go ahead.
And then, like, so after we get through, like, Dane Kiss, this is when they get out of the barracks and they get a room.
Yes.
And Rhiannon is like, she's like, of course I got a room and I'm going to use my room.
They all did, pretty much, but Violet.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
Even notes, like, she comes out of her room and, like, pairs of writers are coming
out
of their room.
Yeah.
know?
It's just like, oh, hello.
It's just, but you know, people were celebrating, as they say.
Yep.
You know, and Violet's having this inner turmoil because she tells Rhiannon about this awful kiss. She's like,
it was really bad.
I don't want it anymore. Like, ew.
She's like, yeah, sorry.
You know, and it's like, oh, that's awful. You know, so like she's dealing with that, and like they're going to classes because classes keep going on.
Yeah, they sure do.
Dane awkwardly tries to talk to her and tell her all this, and she's like, please leave me alone. You know,
love you, Dane, but not like that.
But weirdly, the morning after threshing, everyone's acting different. You know, like the second and third years in their squads are talking to them, even sat with them to eat breakfast, you know, and like all this. And it's funny because Imogen is being nice to Violet.
Yeah, and Taryn
like, we're going to train and do weights. She's like, I don't trust you. Taryn's like, you're going to have to.
You're going to have to trust her.
And that's when she realizes that Xaden's told her to.
Right.
And, you know.
Sorry, cats are back.
She starts picking up on, like, Garrett's nervous and, like, all these things. She's like, oh, because y'all are all all the marked ones are like together, like
Mm-hmm.
you're looking out for each other, you're looking out for
Right.
him. And it's good. And I know like later in this chapter with that, like she's meeting up with Imogen in the gym to lift weights. Because why have we not done this for Violet already? Like, why hasn't her mom had her go in the gym?
Why
It's
hasn't Dane
freaking
made her go to the gym is what
but
I want to
like
know.
6 months. You know how much muscle, like if you've not been lifting weights, you could put on in 6 months to
Mm-hmm.
protect yourself? A decent amount. Like you can make some
Right.
solid progress.
Right. And they're like
Um,
in the barracks, so they're getting fed like good nutrition and stuff. Like you could have.
right. But she's scared to eat because she's been poisoning people.
Yeah, she has, and she's
She
like,
even says, she goes,
oops.
it's the only thing I can guarantee is not poisoned. And Imogen's like, oh my gosh, eat my food. Like, here we
Yeah.
go. Like, you have to put on muscle. And Dane's like, why is she helping? And Imogen's like, don't worry, I won't kill her. Squad loyalty and all that.
Squad
I'm
mates.
like,
Eh.
I
I love
want to
him.
know how it was because Dane and Imogen would have been in the same squad as first years.
Mm-hmm. They sure
How
would
was
have.
that?
That had to be tense.
Like, and that's my thing. I'm like, because they're both second years and everything. It's just funny.
Right?
Like, um, but they go along and everything, and we're about to get to like crazy scene happens. Like Violet's asleep, and it's a well-known fact at when you are asleep, that is the only time you are safe at Biscaya.
Yep.
Only time. Like you are not like killing a writer when they're asleep
Right.
is against codex. The like automatic death to the offender, like
Right.
craziness. Well, people break into Violet's room. She wakes up because Taryn is yelling at her, wake up before you
Wake
die.
before you die.
Like she's having this dream about the scribe quadrant with her dad, and Taryn's
Yeah.
like, get up. I mean, how crazy is that though? To wake up and have like 7 people in your room.
Right. All waiting to kill you because they're all like.
It's crazy because she notes, she's like, oh, they're all cadets except a writer, and the writer runs.
Yeah.
And like I was like, that's interesting for her to note that. Like you woke
Right.
up from a dead sleep, but there is a writer in your room plus unbonded cadets.
Yeah.
The unbondeds are trying to kill you so they can bond with your dragon.
Yes.
Because they don't want to repeat their first year of again. That would suck.
That would suck so bad.
I felt so bad for Sawyer. I'm glad he bonded.
I am too, because that would suck
like,
so bad.
Oh my gosh. Because you just hang around Biscaya?
Yep. You
Unbonded?
go to battle brief, and that's it, because you can't go on to the next classes.
Like, that's crazy. But, so she's, obviously poor Violet doesn't want to kill anybody. So she's going for, like, shoulders
I'm like,
and
quit
like,
being Batman.
And she's, like, talking to Taryn while this is happening. She's like, can I get to the window? He's like, no, I can't get there in time. I can't catch you, and all this. And
then he says the best red arrow ever. And Taryn goes, he's almost there. Yeah. We know who's almost there.
But I love it because I noted this when I was looking through for the moment, because Rebecca uses prickles a lot.
Yes,
like
she
prickles
does.
of the skin, prickles of the scalp. And Darna screams in Violet's mind, mine. And she feels the prickle across her skin and energy, and time stops.
Mm-hmm.
Like Violet notes, she's like, I'm the only person moving. Even the clock has stopped and all this. And like, and Darna's like, hurry up, I can't hold it. It's like Violet magically gets away from Orin, who has a knife at her throat.
Yep.
And I love when it's like Xaden's busting in the room, like,
and he's like
Angel or something like that.
Like, yeah, it is.
And then it's like time resumes, and like, he's just like, you're all dead. Like they're like, and kills them all like quickly without any remorse.
Yep. And he's like, dragons don't make mistakes.
Right. Like Orin's trying to reason with him, and he's like, no,
dragons don't make mistakes
with your own dagger.
Yeah. Like, that's it.
One of my favorite things in this is when like she's coming down off that adrenaline, and like Garrick runs in. He's like, dude, you just took off running. Like, what?
Damn, Xaden.
He's like, oh, I guess we're on cleanup duty. So like, and he's like,
no time for questions, huh?
He's like, grab whoever you need. And she knows they're in like rider attire. It's the middle of the night. It's like 2 a.m., but they clearly have been out doing stuff. And like, it's noted that like third years go on missions for the college and do stuff and everything, and they get called out like sometimes if there's skirmishes to like man the midland forts and stuff. But I like it.
But
Violet's like trying to collect herself and starts laughing, and all three of them look at her like she's crazy.
yeah. And it's just like it's like one of those, and Zane's like, come on, Violence, you'll be all right. Let's get you through it.
And he's like, okay. And then he's like, they get out, he closes her door, and he's like, okay. And he's like grabbing her boots and like a cloak and all this stuff.
Yep.
She's like, what is going on? He's like, we got to get some answers. He's like, but first, I need to know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
And he's like, so you're breathing like crap. And she can't even catch her breath to tell him. And she's also terrified to tell him that she thinks her ribs are broken. But she didn't mind letting him unlace that corset.
She sure didn't. Zaddy Ryerson strikes again.
And I'm like, she's like, I know my way around a corset. I'm like, I bet you do.
I bet you do. You want to know this one?
But like, it finds out they're just badly bruised. He's like, must have been a dull sword, And then she talks about her armor. She's like, she sleeps in her armor. And he's like, that's an odd thing to do. She's like, I'm alive.
Yeah.
And I like the quit back and forth. And she's like talking about why he's in clothes. He goes, well, maybe I sleep in my armor too. She's like, you should get more trustworthy bedmates. I love that. And
it's really good.
She also shows her there's a secret path to the flight field. Like if you can channel
that is
your
right
magic and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're going on a secret tunnel. They're walking in the dark. He's like, oh, if you're scared of the dark, I'll make a candle. He just like, it's not a fey light, but essentially it's the same thing when you hear
lesser magic. Don't they call it lesser wielding, lesser
like a
magic?
lesser magic. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't you? I like how she's like, can't you just hide us in shadow?
He's like, yeah, big black blob would really be discreet.
He's like, God,
they're headed, and he's walking slowly, but like he's not coddling her.
No, he's not.
All like,
he's like, keep up.
I like it when she's like, I clearly just had the life choked out of me because she's like, thinking about his hair while he's putting my boots on.
Yeah, and you're just like, girl has got priorities.
It's I get it. I mean, but they get to the flight field, and I guess Sigale and Taryn and Indarna are like, yeah, we know you're coming. We'll meet you there. And Indarna's like, are you okay? I just picture like, she's a Feathertail, which is like a baby younger dragon. They don't realize it's a baby dragon just yet, but they're about to find that out. She comes running to her. I picture like your dog running to you when you get home.
Yes.
You've been gone all day.
Like a big old dog.
Yeah, like huge dog having to check you out. And she's like so tired because clearly she just used a crap ton of magic to save Violet.
And they're not supposed to.
Talking, right. And as they're talking, that's when Violet realizes she has a connection to Sigale also.
Yes.
And Sigale is such a bad bitch. Like
she is. She is, and she is. She's basically
sassy. Like, yeah, don't use this channel.
She's like,
and like Zayden's trying to figure out, and Taryn's like, dude, I'll roast you. Like, no qualms about it. He's like,
and she'll live because I'm the one doing it.
So clearly, Taryn's like, I don't care about you because she'll survive y'all's bond.
Absolutely. She'll make it.
But Indarna starts filling a Violet in, and like Zayden can't hear her, and he's like, and that's when they realize she's not a hatchling, but like she's 2.
She's a little baby.
And then the questioner is like, is she Taryn and Indarna's baby? And then she's like, no, I would never let my baby bond or whatever. And that begs the question, like, who is her parents? Like immediately I'm like, oh dang, who does she belong to?
Right.
Like if she's not theirs, who is she?
Right.
And all this, and they go through and they learn like about Feathertails, and Feathertails, their magic's kind of unstable. Like they can gift it directly to the rider, which could zap them out and burn them out. So I'm like, which is interesting because I'm like, I guess because they're so young, they can't like shut that channel off.
Right. And I think it's like they only like they're small, so I think it has to do with their size.
They're little, yeah. And and they're like, oh, those gifts typically don't last as they age. And she's like, so she's she's not even technically a juvenile yet.
Right.
And Sigale's like, she'll be fine. By the time you graduate, she'll be like old enough, it'll be fine. Well, like, dang.
Dang.
That her and Taryn are clearly unbothered, but we learn further in they really didn't have much say for Indarna. Indarna makes her own choices. Like the elders let her go to presentation and go to threshing and bond. So it's like but we find out later as to why they couldn't really do much to stop her.
You can't. There is no
but
stopping her.
I love Andarna. She's sassy even as like a kid. But teenage Andarna and Iron Flame is one of my
She is the
favorites.
goat. She is like, and
'cause
she loves goats, by the way. She loves to
I
eat
love that.
goats.
But she is so sharp, quick-witted, like Sigale is. It's great.
Yes, she
but
is.
with like Taryn's sense of humor.
Yes.
Like, it's so fun. But I love it. But after they figure all this out and they decide, like, I cannot tell anybody this because
Right.
if leadership found out Feathertails could do that, they'd be, in
Everybody would
danger.
want, yeah.
Yeah, everyone would be trying to steal their magic because not everyone gets to use magic. That's
Right.
Hello, how we got the venom and stuff because everyone's trying to have something that's rare between a dragon and their rider and a griffin and their rider.
Mhm.
They're the only
They're the only people who can wield.
But that's the only people that wield. Excuse me. That's what I get for chugging my water. We're talking. But so Zayden's like, okay, we definitely got to keep this. He's like, I got to add this to the list of things like we don't talk about.
We're not going to talk about this. Please promise me you won't tell anybody.
They're like, yeah, our secrets are adding up quickly that we're holding on to.
That they are.
If only she knew about Zayden's
If only she knew
secrets.
all the secrets, because there's a whole lot more.
Yeah, but he was like, we got to know how they got in your room, and she's like,
there's a writer.
What? And she's like, a writer let him in. He's like, who? And she hesitates because she doesn't think he's going to believe her because she's used to people not believing her.
Right.
Dane wouldn't have believed her because they had an argument, like, why are you questioning? He got mad about Amber Mavis and like the gauntlet thing because they didn't like how Violet got up the gauntlet, but like he's questioning Ryerson all the time. She's like, right. You question that one, but not that one, so they've already argued before. So she hesitates to tell Zayden and he doesn't say a word, just walks off, so like, yeah. She's, shows up to formation the next morning, like bruises, and all this craziness. And that's when Ryerson shows up and moves Liam into their squad. We gotta love Liam.
Yeah. And I like to
but that's also where they gained other people too. Like because apparently they dissolve squads that don't hold on to people. So like they gained Nadine, which we love her. We don't initially love her, but we do love her before the.
We love Nadine.
And we get Liam after they switch some people around. Because Liam goes everywhere Violet goes, so he's essentially going to be her bodyguard. Violet's yelling at this man who's like, way hostile. Her wing leader, like, I don't need a bodyguard.
I don't need a bodyguard.
And Imogen's like, good try,
like, because yes, you do, because you literally have bruise marks on your neck.
Clearly, we learned last night that's not the case, and I'm not sleeping on your floor.
Right.
Like, like there's that banter. And that's when all of a sudden Dane's like, what do you mean? What happened? And da-da-da-da-da. And Zayden just like walks off after that. It's noted. He walks away. She doesn't realize he's calling what they call a quorum of the wing leaders because he's about to get to the bottom of this crap, So he calls Amber Mavis, who is also a wing leader, out that she unlocked Violet's room because she was the only one that had like the list of who was in what room apparently. And Jane, it's noted, like he immediately is like, give me that memory. And she's like, don't touch
don't me. You freaking touch me.
Like he doesn't ask. He immediately is not believing her or Zayden. He's like, let me see it.
Yep.
And and this is when Violet does something very unorthodox, like compared to everybody else. She's like, Taryn, show them. Yep. And Taryn's like, this is not what we do outside the mating bond, but okay. He shows it to all the dragons, like the part in her room, not the part within Darna, like very
very shortly
omits the important details. All the writers are like livid. They're like, oh my gosh. So obviously when they call like a quorum of wing leaders, your dragons show up also, which I thought was interesting. Which I'm like, whoo, the poor stonework at this college. Like,
right. I mean,
dragons are just big, I'm like.
And I'm like, can you imagine having to be the poor guy that like has to fix
I picture Filch after the Battle of Hogwarts in the movie when it shows him with the broom. with the broom.
And he's just like,
Like, the
He
maintenance
just
crew
looks
at this
around.
place has to be like, really? Again? We've done do
There's
this on the
got to
flight
be
field? Like, what?
there's got to be someone with a signet that like just makes walls. He's just like,
That would be
gosh,
cool.
that would be right.
I want a list of all the potential signets. This would really
Same.
help my like theories and things if I knew what the
Same.
options were.
Exactly.
That's a discussion for another day. But
Exactly.
it's also like like Taryn comes too because his writer's in the middle of this and he's the one that ends up delivering the justice. And when they decide like, yeah, Amber, it's time for you to
Yeah.
go, because it talks about if like your wing leader is at fault, we failed to select the appropriate one. If you wrongfully accuse them, that's also
Right.
it's death. Like this, so these accusations are serious.
Yes, and they're like, she's like, no, she was in my room.
Yeah, but no, she
She was
doesn't
the
say anything. Zayden does the whole argument
Yeah.
for it. And like when Taryn shares the memory, because she's like, he needs help because no one's going to believe him.
No.
He had no evidence but Violet's word, but he took it at face value.
Absolutely.
And so, and she is begging Taryn not to kill her.
Yeah.
She's like, we can work it out because she feels bad for the dragon.
I know.
I'm like, oh, it's so sad. And that line, like, I've got it marked when it's like, a gruesome scream rends the air, shattering a window in the academic wing. And every writer slams their hands over theirs as Clyde mourns. I'm like, that's like awful.
Yeah.
I feel that's almost like another Harry Potter reference for you guys, like the Phoenix Lament after Dumbledore. I'm like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh, that's gotta be awful. Like, it's a morning scream, but it's crazy because like they deliver quick justice.
They really do
in their writers group. Like they follow the codex. If it's within it, you're done. And after that, like nobody's messing with Violet.
No, ain't nobody.
It's crazy. This is basically where we like agreed to be done talking about it for the night because we could continue talking.
We
forever.
could.
But
I like whenever before Taryn takes justice into his own hands, he makes a statement that I really like. He says, I let someone live once and he almost killed you last night, Silver One, because he calls Violet Silver One and Darna's Golden One, and then I forget what does he call Zayden. It's like dark,
the
like wing leader.
And later we get that fun line, shall I get the wing leader?
Shall I get the wing leader?
It's one of my favorite lines out of the whole book. It's so
it really
funny.
is.
But that's how Taryn refers to people, which is funny because he's like, he does not like Dane either.
No, he doesn't.
He's like, I'll take it up with his dragon.
Yep.
Like
I'll take it.
It's fine. Tell him to back off. Tell the boy to back off. He's like,
tell the boy to go to the house.
Great. Well, thank you for still hanging around listening.
Yeah.
We will be doing a part 2 of this.
Absolutely, we will.
But
I'm glad that I hope you enjoyed getting kind of in depth to the first half of the book with us and doing a little recap and a little talking about things we like to talk about. And we can always, like, after we do this, we can always kind of deep dive into like theories and things that happen with the book, and hopefully we didn't give you too many spoilers.
We'll pick up more theories in part 2, and as we cover Iron Flame, and definitely Onyx Storm,
definitely Onyx Storm, that is like game
we got
open.
lots of fun to happen until book 4 gets written and everything.
Yes,
but for now we will let you go.
Yes,
please you for listening.
Follow us along, like and subscribe. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, so follow us.
We will be on YouTube once we start releasing these out. So and check it out there if you like to watch your podcast instead of only listen. So
you'll be able to see my cute cats that cause havoc all the time.